Happy Wednesday. It is Wednesday, right? Yes. 90 degrees. It is a hot one. It is a hot one today. And I am hoarse. I have no idea why. I guess I'm going through puberty. Since yesterday, when I've been talking, I noticed that I sound hoarse. Earlier, I was worse. Right now, I just drank some water. Yesterday, it was windy, though. So, it could have been allergies. I don't know. I really don't know what's going on with me. I don't know. Ow. My back is killing me. Oh, it's a police. Why is there a police here? Whoa. What the hell? I thought it was just a regular white Jeep. I don't know if y'all can. No, you can't. I don't know. Wow, something's going on. Huh. I didn't even hear them, like. Wow, good to know that there's a police here. Here I was insecure in my apartment when I took a shower. I did my exercises and I was going to take a shower with the door open because my cat's on the bed, and usually when she's on the bed, just so she won't be scared, I'll leave my door open to the bathroom and then I'll get in the shower. But I don't know, this time I felt like I better close the door. So I closed the door, and then while I was listening to music, brushing my teeth and all before I jumped in the shower, one of the neighbors kept passing by on his phone, talking really loud and everything. And I said, "Oh, it's I'll call him D. It's D, you know, like, okay, good. He's out there, so I feel safer." I still ended up closing the door, and then I jumped in the shower. And I usually close the door and I lock it. And, you know, I'll take a quick shower, come out, and the moment that I come out and I start drying myself, I'll open the door again for my cat. Sometimes, in fact, she used to, when we lived at the other apartment at the villas, she would go into the bathroom with me while I was in the shower, and she would wait out there on the little rug. When you step out of the shower, she would lay there until I got out of the shower. And how many times am I going to say shower? And she felt safe, and I felt safe too. But I haven't been doing that over here lately. I don't know. I was doing it for a little bit, and she would go inside the bathroom and wait on the rug. But I think she gets scared that I'm going to give her a bath, because I would give her baths before and she hates them. And I don't know why. When she was a kitten, she loved the baths. $4.15. The gas is at $4.15. Damn it. I'm a little over half a tank, because I only put $12. When did I do it? Yesterday or the day before yesterday? Yeah, it was on Tuesday. I only put $12 because I was like getting low on cash, and I was like, I gotta save something for emergencies. And I was at half a tank, so I said, okay, I'm only gonna put $12. And the gas was at $3.15 or so, and now it's at $4.15. I don't know, like, what the deal is, that it keeps going up and down, and when it goes up, it's a significant amount. How much is gas in your area? I know, like, y'all are probably like, shoot, I would love my gas to be at $4.15. It's like $6 over here. What are you complaining about? I think I use more gas just running around here in town than I would if I go further out, like on the expressway or something. I don't know, maybe because it's too many stops. That's what I've heard. I don't know if that's true or not, or if that's a conspiracy. I have no idea. But speaking of conspiracies, well, two things I wanted to talk about tonight. A little rant. You know me. I gotta have a little rant. You all, I am on the, I forgot how I was gonna say it. I'm on a mission. There you go. I am on a mission to find a PCP. Before I was going to a PA, and I really, really liked her. Then all of a sudden they put me with the other PA, and I did not like her. She started acting like she was my caring physician and wanted to start prescribing this and that and other. And I'm like, whoa, you're not even my caring physician. Well, little did I know that the first PA that I was seeing was getting married and getting ready to quit her job there, or resign, whatever you want to call it, and go do something entirely different with her husband. She didn't send a letter to her patients or even talk to the patients. I thought that was kind of like really unprofessional of her. You know, she should have talked to us. You know, see us one last time. And by the way, I'm resigning. This is going to be my last month here. But I wanted to let you know that you will still have the other PA that you could see. And, you know, I encourage you to stay and give her a chance. And you're in good hands. Whatever, you know. But not just disappear. Not just get married and screw you all. I'm gone. You know. But anyhow, so she left. And so I left that clinic. And then I went to a doctor that my neighbor recommended. And he didn't even listen to me. Like, the very first thing I told him is like, look, they put me on this. I had a side effect. They put me on this. And I didn't want to be on that because it gives you this side effect. And it all had to do with my type 2 diabetes, okay? And next thing I know, and you all know I've spoken about what Rebelsis did to me, thanks to the other NP that I saw. Oh, that's right, I saw her first. I saw her first before him, the one that tried to kill me. Then I went to him. So even after I'm telling him all this, what does he do? He gives me a list of like 5 different things. And I'm like, what in the hell? Did I not just tell you what I went through? And not only do you prescribe just one medication, you're prescribing 2 different ones? Are you nuts? Like, my kidneys are good and you just want them to go kaput all of a sudden, you know? So that really pissed me off. And then I get a letter from their office saying that they're not going to take my insurance starting this year. Or they're no longer going to take my insurance starting this year. So I'm like, that's fine. No big loss for me. I didn't like it there anyway. Well, with him, you know. And so I haven't had a caring physician since then. Now, yesterday, I went to my 8:30 a.m. appointment for a caring physician. And I was very hopeful. I was very optimistic. I got lost. I finally found it. It was in the opposite building that I thought it was. And I went upstairs and it turns out it was downstairs. I finally found it. And when I got there, it was no bigger than the subway waiting area right here. And I'm like, my, this is small. And it was packed with people. And I'm like, okay, does everybody have an 8:30 appointment? Like, what's going on here, you know? And so I go to the front, I sign in, and I said, hi, I'm sorry, is this where Dr. Da-da-da is? I barely got here, I was a little lost. And she's like, oh, no problem. And she's like, let me just have your ID and your insurance, and go ahead and fill out these couple of forms, and I'll go ahead and sign you in, yada yada. And I'm like, okay. And when I was doing all that, I noticed the majority of the people in there were listening to my conversation with the receptionist and also staring at me, watching me to see where I was going to sit. And when I sat down, I noticed the lady sitting behind me, facing towards me, was just looking at me. And she made me feel so uncomfortable. But that's not all. I turned to my right afterwards, and there are two guys sitting right there. They were like, I don't know, in their 30s or so. And both of them looked at me at first. They were just staring at me. But the other one went ahead and went back to his phone. And the other one kept looking at me anyway. And I'm just like, hi, yeah. And I start filling out my forms. However, before I looked down to start filling out my forms, there was another lady sitting across from me, facing right at me, also staring at me. Imagine how uncomfortable I felt. I'm already like really insecure, really paranoid when people are looking at me. And I don't like to be stared at. I don't care what you're looking at me for. I don't care if you think I'm pretty, ugly, unique, deformed, whatever. Whatever's going on through your little mind, I do not care. Do not stare at me, please. I am not the elephant man, you know? Or the bearded lady. I'm also not Shakira. Do not stare at me. And anyhow, so I start filling out my forms, and I noticed that the guy that kept looking at me, and I was looking outside, and I was looking for my car, and anytime I would look for my car, he was looking at me. And I'm like, oh my God, dude, like, I'm not looking at you. I'm looking for my car because I'm thinking about booking it. And I go back to filling out the forms. I had to print my name, my signature, my date of birth on some of them, you know, giving your consent, you're okay, your billing and all that stuff. And he is watching me fill this paperwork out. So I'm trying my best to cover, you know, whatever I'm putting down with my elbow and the clipboard. And anytime I would fill something out, I would look up and he was still looking, you know, at me and at the clipboard. I kept looking outside. And I was like, by that point, I was like, oh my God. Like, and then I started looking around to see if there was somewhere I could sit. Nope, you're shit out of luck, man. It is packed. It's a full house. And I text the husband and I said, you know what? I don't think I'm going to stay here. I think I'm going to leave. I don't feel comfortable at all. And of course, he doesn't answer. I don't know what he's doing. He's probably driving, whatever. He don't answer. So this is a choice I'm going to have to make for myself. They called another patient in, right? It was a female. The female behind me that they called. And I was like, okay, well, at least that's one off my back. But I still have these two over here, the guy and the woman across from me. And finally, I went up to the receptionist and I said, here you go. And I gave her the clipboard. And then I said, I changed my mind. I think I'm going to cancel. I don't think I'm going to stay for the appointment. And she's like, you're leaving? And I was like, yes. And I was about to walk off and she goes, oh, wait. Here's your ID and your insurance card. And I was like, oh, thank you. So, you know, and the receptionist was very lovely. She was very professional. She was very nice. a young girl, you know, I had nothing against her at all. I got my credentials back. I put them in my wallet before I walked out the door really quick, you know, and I left. I ran towards my car practically. I walked really fast. And then I just glanced back to make sure nobody was following me. I got in my car and I left. You all might think like, okay, Moon, you really overdid it there. You really overreacted. You know, people are people. They're going to look. Nobody was going to follow you out. I understand that. But I couldn't stay there another second. I felt so uncomfortable, you all. I've never been into any office where I'm just stared at, you know, even while filling out paperwork. I just think it's so rude to stare and impolite to stare. And apparently I forgot where I live, because you would think we're in a ranch. And you think that anytime you go anywhere, oh, look, a human. Or, oh, look, it's an alien. What planet are you from, ma'am? Like, they just look. Honestly, I thought people have gotten better about that through the years, but apparently not at this place. So anyhow, I left. I started driving around. I said, you know what, there's a clinic at this corner over here by the park where I would go walk at all the time, which I need to start doing again, but I can't get myself out of bed. I'm going through some emotional stuff that I can't seem to get out of bed sometimes, and I'm up early. I'll be up at 6:30, 7 o'clock, and I just don't want to get up. But anyway, I stopped at that clinic. I got down and I asked, hi, are you taking any new patients? But do you accept Ambetter? That's my insurance. Oh, Ambetter. Yeah, no, we're not taking Ambetter, and no new patients with Ambetter. Oh, okay, thank you. Sure. And I left, and I was just like, motherfucker, you know. And then I called this other place at another corner that I knew of that had really great reviews. No, ma'am, we're not taking Ambetter. I'm sorry about that. And I said, okay, no problem. And I'm like thinking, what is the deal with Ambetter and the clinics around here? Like, what is the deal? It is insurance. I had to Chat GPT, like, what is going on with that? Because, and that's another thing I'm going to get to right now with Chat GPT. But, it said to me that probably Ambetter is just a little slower in paying, you know, or something. And I'm like, all insurances are like that. It all depends on the coder, the biller, the coder/biller. If they're not entering the right information, well, yeah, then they're going to reject it. Or, you know, you have to, like, you got to know what you're doing, people, you know, and it'll pay, you know. But if you're just going to be like, oh, let me put it in this way because I did it like this for Blue Cross Blue Shield, and it may not work. And then you're just like, you know what, Ambetter is just too much trouble. No, it's not Ambetter that's too much trouble. It's you. You're not going through the trouble of putting in correct codes. That's neither here or there, so I digress, right? But a lot of these places that I've called, I've even asked my sister, well, who's your doctor, you know, and I looked her up. Really great reviews also. No, I'm sorry, ma'am, we don't take Ambetter, but we do take private pay. Yeah, if I could afford all that, I wouldn't even have Ambetter, you know. But, and look, there's a Frontier right here, a Frontier Direct Care. It looks like cafe, but it's care. And I have been wanting to call them. My neighbor, the nurse, told me, oh, that's actually a really good place. However, they have different plans. They don't take insurance there, but what they do is they have different plans, and you pick out your plan, and you can actually go as many times as you need to for blood work, for checkups, for you're sick. If you're sick twice a week, you can go twice a week, and you don't pay extra. You already paid for the month. And I was like, really? That sounded kind of good, but at the same time, it's like, I really don't like to go to the doctor unless I really have to, you know? As it is with this one over here, the gyno over here that I was seeing, I was there once a week, and I was already getting stressed out and pissed off about it. I was just like, I don't want to be here anymore. Okay? I don't want to see you all anymore. I'm sorry. I don't, you know? And anyhow, back to looking for a PCP. I started going down the list. I even asked Chat GPT, hey, can you give me a list of doctors, this and this and that, you know? Oh my God, you all, I cannot find one. I was gonna go to another doctor that's next to where I used to go with a PA. That's where my mom used to go, but my mom went undiagnosed so many times there. And I'm like, why would I want to go there, you know? And then she saw another female doctor. Well, actually, she was an NP also, or is an NP, and didn't diagnose my mom either, you know? So I'm like, what do I do here? This is where I'm at. The good clinics do not take Ambetter. The clinics that suck do take Ambetter. I don't have much of a choice, do I? I considered even going all the way 45 minutes out to where my husband goes. 45 minutes may not seem like a long time to some of you because you live in a big town and you're like, oh, that's nothing, you know? However, here where I live, traffic is so congested. There's so many people commuting through this city that I live in and out. What should take you only 45 minutes to get somewhere will actually take you longer because of all the traffic. I don't do well in traffic. I get frustrated, and I cannot imagine myself going all the way out there to see his doctor. And even once you get into town, it's still further out. It's hidden. And I'm like, no. But I considered it, okay? I did consider it. However, the husband calls me on Monday or Tuesday. He told me, I don't remember what day he called me. He said, guess what? My labs are in. The doctor says that I'm good on everything. Except I was telling her about my cramps, and she said for me to eat some more bananas and stuff like that. And I said, you know what? Bananas are good to eat, but I did some research. It's not enough. You need to take magnesium. No, you don't know what you're talking about. I'll go, oh, I don't. I said, remember I used to get leg cramps on my lower legs every night, and I couldn't sleep because I would get them nonstop. Once I started taking magnesium, gone. And I said, but it has to be the regular magnesium, not the citrate or the gluconide, whatever, blah, blah, blah. You know, it's got to be regular magnesium. And I said, in fact, I have a smaller bottle there, brand new, that I have not opened. You can have that one. I have the bigger bottle. You can have the smaller bottle. It's the same milligrams. It's the recommended dose. You only take one once a day. It'll help you. No, well, what kind of cramps did you get? Do you not remember the cramps I would get? I would get out of bed. I would hop out of bed and I would like practically cry there beside the bed trying to stretch my legs out to get the cramps out. I said, I wasn't having menstrual cramps, mister. I was having leg cramps. Oh, okay. And then I said, another thing. I said, you're always low on energy. And he's like, yeah, I told her about that too. And she said for me to take B6. And I said, well, you know what? You can try the B6. However, I'm going to tell you right now that I've been taking B12. And how do you think I get this boost of energy to clean and do clothes and do my exercises at night? It's been helping me a lot. And when I stopped taking them, because the doctor had told me something about that, the gyno, this stupid gyno over here, man, my energy depleted really quick. But then I found out, no, that has nothing to do with, oh yeah, when she said I had too much iron in my blood. I thought she had said I had too much red blood cells. Anyhow, I started taking my B12 again, and boom, I'm back, you know? So, do I still get tired? Of course. Like right now, I'm really tired. I cleaned today. I didn't even finish cleaning. I was too tired. I couldn't finish cleaning because I was like, no, I got to do my exercise. So, I'll finish tomorrow. But I did the hardest part. I swept and I mopped and I did the bathrooms. And I did some laundry. So, I'm good. You know, tomorrow it won't be so bad. And I even made a meatloaf, you all. I made a meatloaf and mashed potato. Okay, so anyhow, let me go to Chat GPT now because my son's almost going to come out. I am mad at Chat GPT. I hate it. I don't know how you all get it to work for you. I asked it to help me organize my pantry. And it kept giving me the same picture over and over again of my pantry. And I said, no, I want you to help me organize it. Don't keep sending me the same picture that I send you. Help me how to organize it. But give me an image of how you would organize it. So it sent me another picture and it added shelves. And I said, you can't add shelves. It's the way it is. And then it sent me another picture and it added pasta and macaroni and cheese. Even though they're both pastas, but it had like a tray of macaroni and cheese, and then right next to it a pasta, and then on the bottom a big jar of Mott's applesauce. And I'm like, where are you getting these foods from? I don't have these foods in there. Like, oh my God. And then on the bottom I said, I have containers on the bottom. I can't get rid of those containers. You all, I did my best. It looks way better now. I just took the picture and I'm like, okay, I'll work with it somehow. And I managed to do it, and I did it in an hour. And I was listening to a replay, a live that I replayed. And I'm kind of upset with that man. I'll tell you why real quick. But anyhow, and then I asked it to organize my closet for me. Forget it. I gave up. It added shelves also, and I was like, no, I give up on you. The only good thing that ChatGPT did was change my hair. Add me a balayage with blonde highlights. Boom, it did it. It did it. So yeah, let me know how ChatGPT works for you, because I even canceled my subscription. I was like, I'm not paying you to be a dumbass. I'm not. Anyhow, here comes my son. I love you all. Thank you for listening. I'll have to talk about the other guy tomorrow. Oh, y'all pray for me. Bye.